Happy screen time, and thank you for subscribing for daily Pokemon Sleep road tomfoolery. We wake up again today on the old gold power plant. It certainly won't be as exciting as yesterday, or will it? But we are mostly here to try to get another Raichu, just in case we can find one that's better than the one that I'm ready to launch into oblivion. Imagine your whole life as a Pokemon, your parents telling you not to eat too much candy, it might make you sick. Then you get a trainer, and he says, here's 900 candy, I want you to eat this all at once. And then you realize that your former self was a shadow of your new self. Something like that. The goal of this video is to give you the steps to understand how to check how many of a certain ingredient your Pokemon can give you, so that you can compare it against other Pokemon in your box that have that ingredient. Here are the prerequisites for this course. Step 1, sign up for an account on RaenonX, link in the description. Step 2, add your Pokemon. You can take screenshots and use the OCR feature, or you can do it manually, which isn't too bad. Now, if these steps were not as broken down as you were hoping, and you're one of the people who feels a little intimidated by RaenonX, and that's okay, let me know in the comments and we can make a future video that breaks this down even further, and I will link that in the description as well once we have it. Today we are going to use our new precious shiny Aron as an example, and she's right here with me, recording here in post. Say hi, girl. Aron. Good girl. Now, Aron, I'm pretty sure a lot of these people are here for you and not for me. So let's make this a good one for them, okay? They might even like the video for you. Aw, it's okay if they don't. Please don't cry, Aron. You're gonna make me cry. One more point to bring up before we take a look at RaenonX. Just a few days ago, the thing that the people call the meta was disrupted. It used to be that the most bean sausage that anyone could need in a day was 72. And the way we get that number is by looking at the keema corn curry dish. If you were to make that dish 3 times a day, you would need a minimum of 72 bean sausage. That's the dish that requires the most bean sausage. Oh, sorry, like I just said, it was. Now, with the addition of Defiant coffee dressed salad, the new minimum that you could need in a day has been upped to 84, assuming my calculations are correct, which is just 28 times 3. But I still used a calculator, don't worry. Did your teachers ever tell you growing up that you needed to learn math because you wouldn't have a calculator with you at all times? Turns out they didn't know what they were talking about. So 84 is a good target number to shoot for, but don't forget that non-ingredient specialists can also help supplement ingredient production. So we've set up Shiny Aron and used the duplicate feature to create an Aggron as well. And we've filtered to say only show us Pokemon who know how the sausage is made. We have asked RaenonX to sort by ingredient count, and we're starting off with no increased level simulation, because the first question we want to answer is, how much bean sausage could we produce in a day today? Keep in mind that we're sorting by total ingredients, so we'll have to look at the actual sausages. One other little disclaimer, when a new Pokemon is added to the game, it takes time to calculate what the ingredient and skill rate might actually be. But we'll talk about how to get around that potentially. Alright, so on average, our Charmarin friend can get us 79 sausage in a day. Back when the number we needed was 72, this was great. But ideally we'd like to find something closer to, or well above, 84. So what if we raised our Pokemon all to level 60? And in particular, we want to know about this Aggron. With its ABA ingredient spread, at level 60, it will have more bean sausage in the mix. But unfortunately, only 81. And while that's closer to 84, it's not that much closer than the 78 from Charmarin. So, I'm sorry, Aron, but it's probably not worth it for me to take you all the way up to level 60. That would be a huge investment for almost no gain. We can probably find something that's just a little bit better, and let me show an example of this. If we were to take this same Aggron and give it all bean sausages as its ingredient, then look at it at level 60, it's going to have an insane number of bean sausage. And this is why people are so passionate about what's called the mono ingredient meta, because with 124 bean sausage production in a day, we should be good to go no matter how recipes adjust in the future. Well, maybe not forever, but it's probably going to be a long time before we get a dish that requires 41 bean sausage. It's also worth noting that our AAB Charmarin with ingredient finder M and an ingredient finding up nature produces about the same as the Aggron that has the same ingredient finder M subskill, and an ingredient finding up nature. So the subskills and natures really become a critical factor here, because you could have an AAB or an ABA that produces more than a mono ingredient specialist of the ingredient that you need if it has the right natures and subskills. Now, when a Pokemon is still being defined for its rate, I think that one way we could reasonably try to assess it is by using a Pokemon with the same subskills and nature and ingredient. If we make an assumption that Aron, as a newer ingredient specialist, should be producing more sausage than Charizard, we can set Charizard to ABA and have a relative comparison to see if we're comfortable with the numbers. Basically, we can look at what this Charizard's bean production is, which is 67, and we can assume that even if Aggron's Unsettled goes down a little bit more, it should still be higher than 67. Now, I think it's safe to assume that newer Pokemon are always going to power creep the old ones, at least when there's a big release like this one. For example, Cramorant did not power creep anything as an oil or potato Pokemon, but Cramorant I think was added more as the gimmick for the Cramomatic anyway. So it's just something to consider, but it may not be true in all cases. Now, the last thing that I'm checking here is how much coffee this Aggron could get us at level 30, keeping in mind it would need to be level 32 to evolve. But if we don't find a better Pokemon with coffee production, this shiny Aggron might get that ticket to level 30. We will see what we can find in the coming weeks. So sleep session 41... Oh, I'm so sorry. Is that my fault, Pokemon Sleep? Did I do something wrong? I didn't mean to 023006 on you. Sleep session 341 is bound to be a huge letdown after yesterday. Ideally, we're getting snoozing or slumbering for the sleep session because we want Pichu, Pikachu. Oh, yeah, Pichu. I bet that one sitting next to Squirtle there is like OP as heck. We have managed to work our way up to 5 spawns on the old gold power plant. So hopefully that means there are at least 4 Pichus here for us to choose from. It's not looking good so far though. Unless this is the Halloween event. Maybe Pichu dressed up as a Geodude, a Graveler, a Magneton, and a Mime Jr. I would say that that's actually highly unlikely though. And we got an Aron. And it's completely ordinary. Oh my gosh, we've never even seen one like this before. An Aron with blue eyes? This is so awesome! Okay, we didn't get a Pichu, so I guess we'll have to catch this Aron. Well, we'll judge our biscuit spend based on seeing what is or isn't hungry. Hey, there's a hungry guy. Snorlax is always hungry. And no one else is. Usually I do a quick sweep around just to check for pips, like maybe if I've already invested in one, I might consider dropping another biscuit on it. But for this session, hey Aron, we're looking for a bean and or a coffee farmer. Even if you have blue eyes, you are eligible. So here's some biscuits. And how did you like sleeping next to those flowers? Do they smell good or do they smell old? Did you prefer white or the gold? Will you come? This is finished. Yo, Neroli, get out of the way, that Aron's trying to run for it. If you happen to be one of the 3 people who watch this who are on my friends list, please never send me Geodude candy. Aron or Magneton are the right choices today for sending out candy. And we've got quite a bit more Dream Shards today, that's great. Now I need to hurry and finish this video because I need to run an Aron. Okay, that was a lie. I'm actually packing and getting ready to leave town, so we'll see if I can find a good place to record this over the next couple days. Hopefully we can find a place that's quiet enough, but if the audio sounds weird in my next couple videos, I'm sorry. Alright Aron, you've shown up with an ABA spread at just the right time for us to know, relatively speaking, how good you're gonna be. Okay, literally the same start as our shiny, or at least really close. Okay, and the same level 50 skill as the shiny. Uncanny. Well dang, why you gotta make this difficult for us? Okay, but seriously, look how close these are to each other. But the good news for you is, now that we've recorded this video, the rates in RaenonX are settled. So let's do a speed round evaluation right now, go! We have simulated adding a silver seed to make that ingredient finder S into an M, but at level 60, 75 bean sausage a day is not what we're looking for. Let's do this again sometime. Happy researching.